Well, hi there. This is the Tulsa World Scene podcast coming to you live and direct on channel. Well, I can't say the channel, but anyway, that's where we are. Um, I'm here with my colleagues, the lovely and talented Jimmie Tramel and the lovelier and talented Grace Wood. And we're here to talk about things that are currently in the pop culture sphere, entertainment, arts, music, food, whatever comes to our minds, I guess, is we're going to put it simply. And as this is October, and as for the first time in about 9 months, there is a nip in the air. Halloween is on most everybody's mind. We could, I suppose, get into a discussion of what is the best Halloween candy. But we may save that for another week because that usually ends up with people getting into fistfights, and fistfights over Zoom are never entertaining or very satisfying either. So another thing that people do on Halloween is watch scary movies. Are you a horror movie fan, Grace?
They're not like my go-to, but I do enjoy a good horror movie every once in a while.
Do you remember the first movie you saw that made it difficult for you to sleep?
Oh, what's it called? I do have one. I saw it when I was way too young. It's not, oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called. Can you come back to me?
Okay.
Well, if it's going to be that question, political ads make me not be able to sleep. I mean, they're not really horror movies.
Well, some of them they have the dramatic sounds, but
maybe that should be a cue. Is it life is hard enough, just working and family and everything. If a commercial brings drama to your life, maybe that's not who you should vote for. But politics aside,
politics in Oklahoma is a horror show usually, however you look at it. But
you asked the question, James. Ask it to yourself. What's the movie that kind of kept you awake?
Oh dear! Again, it was one that I was probably too young to see. And it probably, if I saw it again, I've never seen it. If I saw it again, it probably would strike me as really, really cheesy. Partly because it starred Bradford Dillman, but it was called, I believe, Moon of the Wolf, and it was a werewolf ABC movie of the week, and I don't know why, but I could not sleep after watching that, and the scenes that come to mind when I think about it now are really kind of laughably bad. but I had to move, like, stuffed animals out of my line of sight. I was maybe like 11. Because I didn't want to wake up and then see something figuratively that might have been an animal in the dark. So
Yeah.
how about you, Jimmy? What's the first horror movie that disturbed your sleep that didn't include Jim Inhofe?
They always just made me want to grab a pillow and watch more. I was never scared. I mean, I loved monster movies growing up. We had the joy of the Plenty Scary Movie on Channel 8 Friday nights at 11:30. Many times you would stay up hoping to see the monster movie, and then because you were in grade school, you were out before the monster showed up, and then you hated yourself in the morning. My mother took me to Young Frankenstein. She hates monster movies, but she took me to Young Frankenstein dreading it, and was really pleasantly surprised that Young Frankenstein was not really scary at all.
My own mother is the same way. She doesn't want to watch she won't watch anything that makes her nervous. Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds unnerved her, apparently, at an impressionable age.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember watching Halloween. It was on TV I think for the first time, and my mother watched it with me, which surprised me. And there is the final scene where the doctor shoots Michael Myers.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Well,
Really? Come on.
It's only been 40 years,
it's only been 40 years.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, I'll just say that the final fate of the monster made her go, okay, I'll be able to sleep now because I know it's made up.
Mhm.
And so that was her. As long as it remained vaguely in the realm of possibility, it upset her greatly. And so,
I
and
thought of my movie.
okay, what was it?
Well, the first thing that came to mind that made me laugh isn't actually a movie, but it was the Thriller music video. When I
Okay.
saw that at a really young age, that scared me so badly. But then I was thinking about the first movie that I saw, and I think I was maybe 10 or 11, and I saw this movie called Insidious. Have you guys seen that one or heard of
I've
it?
heard of it. I've not seen it.
Yeah, it's just one of those classic, family moves into a new house and then turns out it's haunted by some demon and they have to call in these mediums to try to extract the demon from the house, and like everything just goes crazy. And I just remember being so afraid to go to sleep after that because I grew up in a really kind of old house that made a lot of scary sounds, and I was just really paranoid. But then I watched it again like 2 years ago and I just couldn't stop laughing. It's not a very good movie.
TV movies used to be legitimately scary, like as scary as anything you would see at the cinema.
Well, the Night Stalker was a scary movie. I mean,
Night Stalker.
seriously.
Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. Trilogy of Terror with that little Zuni doll that attacks Karen Black. I mean, the TV used to scare the crap out of you without you even going to the movie theater.
That's true. And the Trilogy of Terror is based on stories by Richard Matheson, who wrote The Incredible Shrieking Man and I Am Legend and Hell House, which is a rough go. I wasn't as taken with the film version of that, because it was made at a time that it couldn't go as far as the book does in some of the things that happen to the people in the house. But seek out anything by Richard Matheson. He's definitely worth reading.
I'm grabbing a visual aid while you and Grace talk for a second.
Oh, grab a visual aid. Well, okay. What we were you mentioned that Insidious was the one that first one to keep you awake. Do you have a favorite horror movie that maybe most people aren't all that aware of?
I do. Yeah, I was thinking about this, and the one I came up with was called As Above, So Below. Have you heard of that one?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people saw it. I don't know how I even came across it. It came out in like 2014, I think. And it's basically, it's like a found footage type documentary, kind of like Blair Witch Project. But it's these explorers who are going into the catacombs of Paris underground, looking for some sort of like, I think it's called like the Philosopher's Stone. Like they're looking for some special stone. And then they realize as they get further and further down into the catacombs that they're actually entering like the 7 rings of hell. So like as they go deeper, it gets scarier and scarier. They kind of have to defeat all these scary characters as they go deeper. And yeah, I don't think it did very well at the box office, and I don't think a lot of people saw it, but it's definitely very entertaining, and I kind of like the setting. I think is cool. It's different than most like horror movies that would take place like in a house or something like that.
How about you, Jimmy?
Well, I don't know if this is lesser known, but this is mine. This is my favorite.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm not surprised.
Peter Fonda, Warren Oates, Laura Parker from Dark Shadows, and Hot Lips from MASH are on vacation. Race with the Devil, a Winnebago vacation. They park the Winnebago. At nighttime across the creek, they see unintentionally a human sacrifice of this cult type people, and then the race is on. It's literally the race with the devil as these cultists chase them across Texas. It was filmed around San Antonio, but I don't know if it's so much scary. It's just more of a suspenseful type thriller, and it has an ending very much like The Birds, in that the ending happens, you're like, what the heck? Like, that's it? The birds are just gonna sit there? But I love it. I saw it 3 nights in a row at the movie theater when it came out. I've seen it 100 times since then. It's my scary movie. Kevin Smith loves it, the filmmaker, Kevin Smith.
Well, I saw it soon after it opened at I believe the old Annex 7 theater. And I agree. It is a good, sharp thriller with some kind of supernatural overtones, because it creates such a wonderful aura of paranoia, because they keep running into people that they're not sure,
Right.
Are they part of this cult that you mentioned, or are they just a little leery of outsiders coming in? But yeah, it does. I don't know that I would agree that the ending is quite as ambiguous as The Birds, but it does leave some things unanswered. We do know that. So, but
what's your lesser known movie, James?
Oh Lord. Probably Burnt Offerings. Came out in the 70s, based on a novel by Robert Morosco, who wrote a great play called Child's Play about violence in a Catholic boarding school or Catholic school that has some supernatural overtones. Burnt Offerings is it's kind of a consumer horror movie. It's about a family of 3 who are wanting to get out of New York City for the summer, and they find an offer for a house in rural New England, and it's incredibly cheap. It's a gigantic place. All they have to do is make sure that the owner's mother lives in a room in the top floor. All they need to do is make sure she gets her meals 3 times a day. They'll just have to leave them outside her door, and knock.
Yeah,
and,
I'm out. No, we're not doing that.
And it gets increasingly unnerving. They do a good job of adapting the book, and they actually amp it up. Dan Curtis, who I think was involved with the Night Stalker, he was involved with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And as their summer goes on and the creepiness starts getting really creepy, and then I enjoyed it. It's not, I would not call it a great movie, but it's a very, very good horror film. And also the book itself is worth seeking out. I wish he had written more. So
we have an interview with Alice Cooper next week, because he's coming to Hard Rock a couple days before Halloween, and I asked him his favorite horror movie, and the answer I thought was very surprising, and I guess people can find out what that is on Wednesday of next week.
Okay. Something tells me it's not Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
He did say, though, that probably the scariest, not his favorite scary movie, but the scariest movie of all time is The Exorcist. It's like, yeah, pretty creepy. My I have a passion for the old Universal black and white monster movies, especially The Invisible Man. I love that movie.
Yeah.
But I have a 30 pack of all 30 black and white Universal monster movies. Every October, my son and I swear we're going to watch them all and rank them. And we get to like through about 2 of them, and then we're too busy and we can't go on. So we watched The Wolfman the other night with Lon Chaney Jr. That's still cool.
Yeah, when you get down to Jesse James meets the Wolfman or something, that's kind of, I don't even know if that was Universal, but yeah, when they're going for that, it's kind of,
Yeah, Abbott and Costello met all those fellas.
that's true. That's true, and they probably obviously they were better than Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because whoever heard of those monsters after they met up with Abbott and Costello? I mean, really.
Grace, your favorite Halloween costume of all time is?
Ooh, good question.
Are you asking that she has seen or that she has worn?
That she has worn.
Okay.
I think probably my Halloween costume 2 years ago was probably the best, because I went as Stevie Nicks and I think I really pulled it off. I had my hair kind of done up like her. I had like the black lace fingerless gloves and like a long flowy white dress and a tambourine that I carried around all night. So
And a white-winged dove.
what?
And a white-winged dove.
Yes, and a white-winged dove right there on my shoulder.
This is 2 weeks in a row she's mentioned Stevie Nicks. I feel like there's a trend working here.
I see a trend coming.
I love her so much.
James, favorite Halloween costume of yours?
Probably my Stevie Nicks costume.
Well, and my Lindsey Buckingham costume too.
There you go. Exactly. I'm trying to think the last time I actually dressed up for Halloween. I can't. I honestly don't remember. I tell a lie. It was a probably high school, and I couldn't think of anything to wear, and so I put on a raincoat with a belt, borrowed a hat from my dad, put on some sunglasses, and picked up a toy Tommy gun and went as a gangster, and that was about it. I mean, that's about as far as I've got them. How about you, Jimmy?
Evel Knievel, far and away.
Did you have the version that has the inflatable motorcycle?
No, I just had the white pants and the red, white, and blue shirt and a little swagger stick like he had. It was big time.
That's amazing.
Oh dear. When was the last time you remember going out trick or treating?
Yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been a while. Well, I've gone with my children, but obviously not for myself since Blue Moon. I don't know if Stevie.
Well, obviously, I mean, when the kids come back, then you go, kids, I need to look through this stuff, make sure it's safe. So, but, okay. All right. Well, we mentioned that we have Alice Cooper coming up. What do you have coming up for this week, Grace?
Not this week, but probably early next week, I'll have another interview with Nathan Wright of Count Tutu, the third release of his solo project that he's doing, where he releases a new song and music video every 6 weeks for a year. This music video is animated as opposed to the other music videos, which are just kind of depict Nathan doing things about Tulsa. This one is like an animated short film, so it'll be really cool to see that, and that'll be posted on our website too. So.
Okay. All right. Well, we have an interview with Allegra DeVita, who is starring in Tulsa Opera's production of The Italian Girl in Algiers. She was seen, she was part of the cast of Tulsa Opera's baseball Rigoletto that they did at One Oak during the pandemic. And this is very much a change of pace for her. This is a comedy, and but she will be very good in that. We'll have an interview with her. And if you get hungry, we have a review of The Chalkboard, which has been around since 1976, but recently has changed ownership. The chef is the same, Chef Daniel Gibb, and we just go to make sure that it's as good as it's always been. So check for that and more in your Tulsa World, available at fine new sellers everywhere and online at tulsaworld.com.
Mhm.
Well, I think that covers our section of the waterfront for this week. On behalf of my colleagues, Miss Wood and Mr. Tramel, we wish you a pleasant good day and a wonderful tomorrow.
Behave.
Bye.